The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
Here we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. The people who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning. I'm Paige Clarke. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. This is where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
To recover our natural health, and we want to regain our rights and freedoms. I'm Nico Haan.
And hey there, Nico. It's a beautiful day. We're getting rain. We need it.
Yeah, 81 degrees.
81 degrees. Including, I hope you're having nice weather where you are. Please subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. We get lots of rave reviews on this newsletter. It's news you can use to stay healthy and live longer and stronger. And there's some great research. The latest one has is there a limit to the human lifespan? We had a nice discussion on that.
Yes, we sure did. And I want to remind people, please pick up our Primal Edge. This is our one-shot wonder. Over 310 organic cell-ready ingredients, all powered by humic and fulvic acid.
Nature's miracle molecule, and you'll hear more and more about that.
So important to have that.
I was real happy to see, we've been talking a lot about one of our brand partners, Purium product, the Biomedic,
right.
And that is powered by fulvic and humic, and it's a nice way for people to get the power of that nutrient. So much research behind how that is helping us keep our guts healthy and so forth.
And here's the, in the newsletter, is the little promo product catalog. This is the Biomedic that we were talking about, and I got a nice letter from one of our guests, and he was asking about the Primal Edge. His wife is in the hospital,
yes,
and she needed the dosing. So he was asking, can I freeze the Primal Edge and freeze these things? And of course you can. That's the great part. You can freeze them all together in one little dose, and then you can liquefy it, and there you go. So that's a great way of doing it. And I just wanted to let people know that.
Well, any other thing is if, any of the things from the Purium catalog that's in the newsletter, our listeners can get $50 no strings attached. Try some of their great products, and we like that. So you can use the code HealthMaven to save and go to iShopPurium.com. Make sure you get the newsletter, though, and you can have the clickable links to go there.
That's right.
And we're taking your phone calls if you're up and at it. That's 877-927-6648.
I just want to say welcome back, because I love it when you're back here, and it's so much easier to do a show when you're here because we can actually have a conversation, and the conversation with myself is...
Nico, we've been doing this show for so long. It's like when people ask me and I say, oh, I don't know, Nico's been doing it for 8-10 years. I've been on there 6-7. I've lost track of time. But it's like meeting a friend for coffee and talking about the news. And folks, we do this show because we think the news needs to be shared. Much of this information, the cutting edge things that we're researching, the rabbit holes Nico and I dive down, aren't what you see every day. And we want to help you find and create your own journey of things that interest you.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention, too, that next week we're going to be moving the studios to St. Pete, but the cool thing is it's right on the anniversary of when I first came on TFNN, so this will be the 10th year.
Oh, wow. Holy cow.
Yeah,
wow.
So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty neat.
So thanks to everybody for sticking around and
watching
watching
so it's going to be exciting to see what our new studio is going to look like.
So tell me a little bit about your adventure going to Europe.
It was wonderful. I had a great time. For those of you who don't know, I was gone for about 12 days. Flew into Switzerland, and it was beautiful. Spent some time in the Lake Lucerne area, just breathtaking, gorgeous.
I saw some pictures of you walking in the woods and doing things like that.
Ended up in by Lake Lugano, kind of worked through the lake country, and then we were going to go on to Lago di Garda, which is Italy, northern Italy, kind of on that Alps, the lake area. But the traffic was pretty bad because, you know, Europe's on summer vacation as well.
Right. And what happens in Europe is a lot of countries, like Holland, they take 2 weeks off, and everybody takes it off.
You got it. Everyone from the Netherlands down is heading south to Italy, kind of like the Florida Peninsula down there. So we went the opposite way. We went north to our family in Salzburg, and we spent some time in Salzburg. We went to some family's property in a ski resort area called Flachau. And it was just unbelievable, and had some great hiking, fresh air, the best food in the world.
And you told me something earlier that was really quite a measure of what's happening in the world. When you look at Europeans and you look at Americans, you said the only people that were heavy there were the American tourists.
Yeah, it's really quite remarkable and noticeable, the difference in sort of the body size. And folks, you know, I'm the first to say I'm not attacking Americans or saying this. Remember, it's the quality of the food, and it's how these countries care about what the people eat. For example, I don't drink Coke, but someone I was with bought a Coke, and I look at it, and it's like the classic Coke bottle, and I spin it around, and it's bottled in Austria. And it has sugar. It doesn't have high fructose corn syrup.
Just like in Canada and Mexico,
in Canada and Mexico. And, I mean, if you are accidentally going to drink a Coke, folks, make sure you go and buy it from a foreign food place. Go into a Mexican restaurant.
Costco has some
Costco has the... okay. See, that's good to know. I mean, if you're going to do that. And it just kind of set the tone. Everything is a little smaller portion, I notice. You know, the ice cream isn't this big heaping thing. It's one scoop in a little cup. Everyone is eating ice cream. Everyone is having dessert. How can this be? You know, here we are. We're talking about living a primal lifestyle. We tend to be a little more on the lower the sugars and carbs. But wait a minute. Look at these Europeans. They're healthy. They're vibrant.
It's not
they're
the sugar
slim.
so much as these substitute sugars are even worse.
Exactly,
Because
folks.
if you take just a little bit of sugar, it's not that bad.
Absolutely
we've known
not.
that
In
because
fact,
we've used sugar for thousands of years.
I mean, Ray Peat, you know, I come back to Ray Peat and his regenerative energy. He's a big proponent of ice cream. You know, that says on his cover page is an ice cream cone. He thinks
But not the ice cream in America, probably, unless it's a full-blown
and there we go.
made out of fat.
Well, we have to really stop and look at what's the difference. It's and you know, some of my mentors have said, folks, it's not the food itself. You know, let's take milk, for example. You know, it's what we do to the milk. So one of the cool things is you all know that I do believe that milk is one of the superfoods. And I know a lot of people
Well, it's not quite paleo because perhaps we didn't milk cows in those days, but if you're adapted for it, I don't see any problem as long as, again, it's natural, it comes from a healthy cow, not these type 1 or 2 cows. Which ones do we have?
Well, the A1 and the A2, and that was interesting because while I was up there and we were hiking, literally, as we're in 7,500 feet of Alps, you know, here's these cows walking by, you hear the cowbells. I mean, this is the real thing. And actually, I found out that these cows, when they wear the bell, the leader, he feels kind of pumped up, or she, she's like the leader. It's like, I'm the line leader. And the person who wears the bell is sort of proud of themselves. And the bell just kind of tells the rest of them to follow that bell. But getting back to it, so we did this hike, and we came down to one level, and we learned that the restaurant, very small little thing, was a family-owned thing, and they said they had fresh buttermilk that was from that morning.
Wow.
I mean, so it was literally, it had not been refrigerated, which brings up really, refrigeration slows down the probiotics. But, you know, I just want to encourage people to realize that there's countries that care about what's happening to the citizens when we get back. Unfortunately, I have to jump into a really pressing situation. Stop 5G. You know, many other countries in Europe are fighting it. Many countries, cities in our country are fighting it. We need to learn what's going on with this 5G rollout. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, Life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. Nico and I today are going to turn our conversation to talking about 5G and why we need to be concerned about it. And I think there's a lot of people that aren't aware that there's a very streamlined rollout at the federal level to start implementing the 5G wireless and the Internet of Things. But of course, people say, well, what the heck is that?
Yeah, and there's a great site here called whatis5g.info you can go to. That's what we're on right now.
And let me just, before we get into it, I want to say why I really want to drive this home. I really would rather talk about my vacation in Europe. But, folks, it's really important. I came home to find out that in our community, this streamlined effort starting at the federal level with the FCC and our state legislators, they're really trying to take away the voice of the people and our elected officials, the commissioners. Their hands are really tied. They're being told more or less, you're going to make way, you're going to allow us to install these new mini cell towers, you're going to make it so that you're going to get out of our way, we're going to do it anyways, or you're going to be sued. And this is very concerning to me in the town that I live in, delightful downtown Dunedin, really I consider my home. They're having a commission meeting tonight. So if you are in Pinellas County or Dunedin and you do think we should take a pause and not be one of those people that wants to win the race to 5G, I really suggest you come out and have a voice. It's time for us to take a look at the mounds and mounds of information that suggests that 5G is not safe for humans and wildlife. And the research is rather extensive. And also, you know, if you don't want to believe that there's a health concern, because believe me, these deep pockets have paid the money to create counterpoints to that.
Well, there's a lot of things to it. You know, if you want really good location services, knowing where people are, 5G is the way to go because you know where everybody is. And location services, we know, can be turned on and off by internet providers. You can shut them down, but they can turn them back on. But 5G refers to the fifth generation wireless technologies. Its intended purpose is to provide faster and high capacity transmitters to carry the massive amount of data that will be generated from the future of things to come. driverless cars. We're talking about fast audio streaming. We're talking about live. Right now we're on Facebook Live, and so we're adding things to it. And we like the technology because of what it can do for us, but we don't like it what it can do to us.
Well, and I think that's a good point, Nico. I think there's always a double-edged sword, right? And I'm just suggesting that we slow down and take a minute and take a look at some of the research, because I do believe that some of the talking points I'm going to hit on that happened yesterday at the federal level. The FCC had a Senate committee meeting and a discussion panel on the race to 5G. And what they found is that the FCC is not a health organization, so there's no focus on what the health implications are on this technology. And in fact, they have done no research. So I think the public is thinking that there has been research done, and in fact there hasn't been in many, many years. And there's been an appeal based on recent research that I hope to share the links with my city officials to encourage them that it's prudent for them to take a little look at this and not just look at the economics. For example, you know, I want to make this point. Telcom presented the 5G to our President Trump, and this is the way they presented it. There's no need for fiber to the homes. See, they're fighting against the fiber optic industry, which is actually a safer approach to getting us faster, reliable, safe, higher performance. But listen to this, guys. There's no need for fiber to the home. As the rep explains, 5G uses fiber to the pole and then goes wirelessly the rest of the way. What he doesn't mention is that by melding the fiber network that we paid for with the wireless infrastructure, they become an unregulated service. It's a win-win for telecom and a lose-lose for us.
Now, what do they mean by unregulated?
Well, I think that what it means is they basically have carte blanche, and this is what these city officials are sharing with me as I'm doing some research around the country and around the world, quite frankly. We are not alone in Pinellas County that we're fighting this race for 5G. This is not a race we want to win. You know, the tortoise and the hare runs the race and gets there fastest, but it wasn't a good thing. Maybe we need to be a little slower while we wait to see the research.
And if we look at the structure of the internet, it's only 20 years old, basically. You know, for the last 10 years, more full-blown, and certainly it's getting more and more active. When was Facebook started? 10 years ago, something like that, 9 or 10 years ago? And that was a type of thing we've never seen before. They connected everybody and people we don't know. You know, if you've got 5,000 friends, then probably you know 50 of them. Maybe not that many, you know. So it's created a kind of many false different things. First of all, I'm real popular. I got all these people. They're saying I like things. Well, that to me is just a fast pass. Oh, I better like this so the person will like me. Those types of things. There's all kinds of things happening in this technology that is detrimental to the way we used to live. We have to kind of get used to it, and it's happening so fast. You know, the kids these days that grow up on these devices that can use their thumbs. I'm still with the one finger. But,
me too.
You know,
it must be an age thing.
That is the age thing for sure. And
well, Nico, let me just give you a picture of this.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought about this driving in this morning. You remember in the Matrix movie when Nemo and Morpheus, when Morpheus takes them to that room, and there's all these wire things and it's plugged into them.
Yeah. They were the batteries. And
the people are the energy generators, or the batteries that recharge the thing. Folks, this is really what this is. If you take a picture of what these mini cell phone towers look like, they're rather unattractive. They're going to be placed within hundreds of feet of one another, in front of your home, in front of your business, in front of the places you eat, drink, and be merry. And down at the base of them, there's usually a refrigerator-sized cabinet. We have an alert for you well, that's that, but really there's a picture in that thing. That's the top of it, but down at the bottom is a refrigerator-based type station. And I will say that the ordinance that the commission in Dunedin is trying to pass, there's some protective measures. It's the city and the legal people saying, hey, if you're going to come into our cities and towns and place these towers, we want to make sure that you make them look pretty, that you put some shrubs, or that they're this far away from here. They're trying to define their ability to control this. However, there's not a single mention of the health concerns, and that's what concerns me, is that this has been covered up, yet it is extensive. It is extremely prolific.
Yeah, independent science shows that adverse health effects from the radio frequency microwave radiation in our neighborhoods is going to prove to be a very ill-conceived idea.
That's extremely understated there.
Yeah.
We're going to, Jack Cruz says that we'll be looking at disease explosion by zip code. We'll be able to tell where this is happening.
It's kind of a reverse light therapy in a sense. When I think of the type of therapy, the heat therapy and the light therapy that I use with those lamps, this is kind of the reverse. This is kind of taking it out of you instead of putting it in.
Right. So what we're trying to do, folks, here is kind of give you a highlight about the 5G rollout into our cities and communities is being streamlined. It's being pushed at the federal level by the FCC, and our cities, governments have their hands tied. We need to get out and say, we want some proof that this is safe. And what we really want is we want to slow this race to 5G, prove that there's safe, effective ways to deliver better internet service. We're not against progress. We're just not for dangerous progress. We'll be right back. We've got more information on this. Stay with us.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back. So we were talking about this 5G thing coming just about everywhere, and there's an article here in this wonderful site, which is whatisfive.g.info. And it's 9 ways 5G and the Internet of Things will harm humans, the environment, and the Earth. And first of all, is on there's health. The robust and growing independent science shows harm to our health from the microwave radiation. I think it's no different than putting on a microwave and opening the door and standing in front of it, kind of.
It's completely well researched that our human cells and DNA, our mitochondrial DNA, is not designed to handle this type of radiation.
Yeah. Now, the second thing is privacy, which we've talked about, and there's a lot of kind of weird stories going around. One of them that you told, where you were discussing with Will that you maybe want to change the kitchen. And
he wanted to change the kitchen. I want to take trips.
You want to take trips, which is almost the reverse of what usually happens, right?
It is. It's actually kind of funny. And he was saying, well, you know, it's probably outdated. We need to do it. And
then all of a sudden, you go on your iPad or your computer.
I was on Facebook, and all of a sudden, are you thinking of remodeling your kitchen?
Yeah, so that's pretty scary.
I never see kitchen remodeling commercials.
Yeah,
so this was just, I mean, Big Brother is listening. And that's exactly what this is, folks. The 5G millimeter, the small mini cellular towers are designed to be human manipulators. They're going to spy, they're going to listen, they will broadcast frequencies of whatever they decide they want to do. Yeah. So this is a concern for us. So, the other thing is cybersecurity.
Yeah, the fast-growing and devastating cybersecurity risk. Of course, we know a lot of stories, and of course there's big investigation going about how other countries are doing this, and Russia and other countries too. Of course they're doing this. This is what you can do. If you can do it, you're going to do it. That's what happens in the cyber world. That's what happens when people are against each other and countries want to find out what you're doing. But the other concern is, for me, always, is my country spying on me, or are the companies that we hold dear, like Facebook and things like that, are they spying on me? Why do they want to know my location? What would be the concern there? I mean,
because they want to send you targeted ads, because they sell advertising to their...
But then there's another side of that. If somebody wants to use those technology for something that is damaging to you personally or your information, they can do that because the information is the same.
Well, the other really thing that concerns me is the danger to the environment. I think we have seen over the years anyone who's posting pictures of dead fish lots and birds and bees, these things are being impacted due to these artificial radiations that we have in our environment. The harm to wildlife, particularly bees, butterflies, and other pollinators.
So back in the 60s, I was going to University of Michigan and had a biology class, and we got an arborist in there. Really interesting thing, because this is something I have always been interested in, is the environment. And he painted a picture for us. He says, you take a road, then you place it through this territory. Say it's 100 miles, and you've got an area that's 100 miles square, 100 miles by 100 miles. When you put that road through the center, half of the population of all species die within that next year. That's what happens just with a road, with cars going by. Imagine if you're mining, if you're doing these things, wildlife is gone. And wildlife, really, what I look at wildlife is our food.
Well, we talk about the pollinators. There is going to be no food if we destroy the pollinators. I want to make a comment, too, that one of the things about the 5G, why many people that are informed and educated about the dangers of 5G are leaving the cities. And one of the issues we'll see is that there's projected property value loss in the areas that are deploying the 5G because people are going to have ill effects. They're not going to want to be living in it. It's going to be agitating.
Well, we have stories now of people not wanting to go near any kind of towers.
Well, right. So these cities that think being a smart city is dumb. Hear what I just said? Being a smart city is dumb. It's not smart. And I really feel like, what we've got to do is help people get the information out here so that we can see if this is something that we really want to win the race on. I don't think this is.
So the fifth thing on here is energy, the huge energy consumption to produce and power a wireless Internet of Things. So it's getting more and more powerful. We need more and more powerful devices so we can do many, many more things. And it's just escalating. And Wi-Fi is basically power going through you.
I also am very concerned. I know that my daughter's house had a smart meter put in. We've been trying to fight on that, but I noticed her power bill went up extremely high. And see, again, they're using data and they're penalizing you for certain things.
Now, I posted, and I did post a few things on Facebook. I'm kind of backtracking here. It's tough to get off of Facebook, especially if you want to share some things. But I shared the other day that last year our power bill was $386 and some cents. And of course, we had installed the solar.
Right.
And I got 48 panels up there, so I got a huge system. And they said, well, you're probably covered maybe 80%. Well, our bill last month was $10.68.
That's amazing.
So that's a big savings. So I'm really pumped about that.
Well, yeah, you have an investment, but you got a tax credit, and we need to do a whole show on that.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's...
Well, this year is the only tax credit here in Florida. They give you a 30%. So that was really the push, that because in about
so you got to do it this year to get that tax credit?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that brings it down to about 8 years, maybe even sooner for us, if we're getting this kind of rating. Takes to pay for the system. So after the 8 years, we break even. So that's a beautiful thing for sure.
So getting back to these ways that we need to be concerned, why these are the areas where the research is, why 5G may not be for you and me to stay healthy.
Number 6 is brains and humanity.
Yeah, the effects on our brains and humanity from humans increasingly inhabiting the cyber world, you know, becoming that blend of an AI creature. Are we losing our humanity by increasingly relying on these technologies? Many people think so. And this is, in addition, many people in the world of brain science, neuroscientist Jack Kruse is blowing the horn to everyone and educating people on what the adverse health effects. You know, I spent last Christmas with Jack Kruse and let's just put it this way, a telecom physicist, a person that's designing these things, who basically sat on the beach with us and said, I'm relocating my family. Wow. I'm not even just moving out of the cities. I'm moving out of the country because of the plan for this wireless 5G technology. This is not going to be a healthy progress. There's always progress, but is it healthy?
Yeah.
And you know, e-waste, the astronomical e-waste that will be generated connecting virtually everything to the internet. Recently, I had a refrigerator breakdown, and I was a little chastised with people saying, you know, why are you spending money to repair that refrigerator? Go get another one. Because I didn't want that Internet of Things capability.
Well, they still sell them without.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, but the whole point was,
Yeah.
I mean, there were other reasons. It's a built-in, they're expensive.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a good move. It was a little bit of an inconvenience, but I do want you to know that all of these connectability things are not really for your benefit. They're
Well,
for...
and the thing is, too, you remember, you talk about the refrigerator, there's all kinds of devices. Right now, we have a choice of getting the refrigerator that doesn't have it or not, but will we in 5 years? We may not have a choice. We can't go, you know, we'll have to go to the junkyard to find an old refrigerator if we want that kind of technology out of our life. So it's going to be harder and harder. This is just the starting point of this whole thing. The next one is the conflict minerals.
I don't really know what that is, but I think it's minerals that are in...
Yeah. The 5G and the Internet of Things will vastly grow our dependence on conflict minerals, which have brought about the death of close to 6 million people. These are the type of elements that they use to get faster services. So they're using, you know, the types of metals that probably aren't good for our health if we're close to them, like mercury and things like that.
And finally, ethics. The ethical issue arises from the Internet of Things. New human rights laws are being considered. How should humans relate to robots? The blurring of what was once a clear delineation between technology and humans. Folks, this is something we all need to take a little breath and look at. Stay with us. We're going to talk about it a little bit more.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back. Living a Primal Lifestyle. Nico, I had a question in the chat room. What was the name of the retreat I went to? Well, it was actually not at one particular retreat. We were staying at some, just beautiful hotels in Switzerland and Austria and traveling around. We did go to the small ski resort called Flachau. It's a beautiful little remote town. Ate at a 400-year-old restaurant. It was the shoemaker's house.
Really?
Yeah, it was really, really good. But, yeah, Matt, if you have any questions about places to go, if you're heading that way, I'd be glad to help you. But let's get back to our 5G conversation today and what you can do. And as I opened this discussion today, Nico, I told this was really heavy on my heart. We are having a commission meeting at the Dunedin Commissioners tonight, and I think it's a great opportunity for us to have a voice that we do want our elected officials to be empowered to review the safety or lack thereof safety regarding these technologies, because this is what's happening, folks. The telecom industry has billions of dollars spent in lobbying, and they've been hard at work lobbying the government officials at the federal level and the state level. And this is what my commissioners are saying, and your commissioners are doing. This is happening everywhere, folks. Take this and use it in your own community. The commissioners say they're flabbergasted. They realize that they say we're going to get sued if we don't comply. And so they're creating ordinances to try and set up some rules. My concern is that ordinances are not talking about holding these telecom people responsible for health effects, or providing perhaps some ways that we can get remuneration for damages that recur.
Well, I think a lot of people are in the dark about this too, because this is not knowledge that's just slowly coming out. So at the level we're at in Dunedin, we may not have any experts on this that can talk about this. You're the expert as far as I'm concerned on this.
Well, I am going to. I'm not trying to be the expert. I'm just trying to be a voice of the people to say I devour this kind of research. I think this is important. I am so concerned about our exposure to this. I do not want my family and loved ones or myself exposed. You know, I go out in the woods like that. I'm like, why are we doing this? Why do we want to live in this toxic
It says here the telecom industry has been hard at work lobbying government officials at the federal level, the state level, and the FCC to speed up the deployment of the small cells.
They're calling it streamlined, and they've created this little twist called streamlined race to 5G. In other words, everyone, that spurs the marketing brilliance of that spurs this, oh, I want to be the city that's the first to win the race to 5G. Well, this is, as I said, smart cities are a dumb idea.
Yeah, in fact, Dunedin was one of the first cities that was talking about the idea, even before 5G, of just making the whole city internet free.
Well, yeah, this whole smart city thing has been marketed.
Free without paying.
The telecom industry is looking for the early adopters. They want that. And it's not going to be something that's going to make us, that people in the long term are going to resent. I really want to try and find it. I'll try and do it before the next break. It's just a picture of what these mini cell towers look like. They're such an ugly eyesore. And it bothers me that that's the focus of a lot of what the ordinances are talking about, the unsightliness of them and how we can hold, we want them here, but we don't want them there. I want you guys to look at the research on how damaging these are to living beings, humans, wildlife, etc., and why and to our privacy, and to what it's going to do to our property values. Cities in California where these have already been deployed are seeing drops in their property value because no one wants to live near these towers. No one wants to. Why would you want to live near one of these towers? And
so the H.R. 1625 is the omnibus bill, was signed into law, and it's a 2,232-page bill, complication of dozens of different legislation used as a bargaining chip for one or the other parties who were involved in this. Significant fast-tracking legislation was escorted through this, and there's a link to the bill in that under government.
And let's skip down here, Nico, just to kind of concise. Look, there was actually a big meeting yesterday at the federal level. I'm still looking for some kind of comment on what happened. A Senate committee hearing on and the points of the meeting were to insist the FCC is not a safety and health organization. It's like the fox, guarding the hen house. The FCC to be telling, they're being paid by, lobbyists are spending all their time whining and dining them to pass legislation that does not have our health interests. And I think that the health concerns need to be top priority. So what we want you to do is to ask our cities and small communities to take a break here. You don't have to win the race. Be the tortoise, not the hare. Being the hare is not wise when it comes to 5G. And we are not alone in doing this. We need to take action to oppose the expansion of 5G until it is proven safe and effective for all living beings. And this federal expansion is designed to usurp the power of our cities. And this is there's a message here that was recently sent from the EMF Safety Network about, they sent it to Congress to urge them to oppose any and all bills dealing with wireless expansion. And this can be found at the EMF Safety Network. We probably don't have enough time, but we really encourage our listeners to go to the site. Maybe Al can type this so it pops up. Whatis5g.info. Whatis5g.info. It's a plethora of information and has some real actionable steps and links to what other cities are doing, what other municipalities, who they're talking to, other cities and countries that are researching this at a deeper level to say, wait a minute, is this a good move?
Yeah, there's one thing on here which spurred my interest. The bill was not released until this Wednesday night, and a vote was forced on the bill in a House less than 20 hours after release. Remember, 2,232 pages long. So there's practically no member outside of the leadership has seen it before.
Well, and that was what Trump's comment was. I'll never do that again. Nobody's read it. This is very similar to the whole Patriot Act. It's a big bill paid for, written by lobbyists that have the interests of the telecom and not your interest.
There's currently approximately 60 federal bills pertaining to wireless extension of 5G small cell sitting.
And we might want to open up we might want to open up this letter, Nico, this was a letter sent to Congress from health, environment, and justice advocates and organizations. We might open that up, but this is in summary. The letter was signed by dozens of health, environment, and justice advocates and organizations asking them to oppose the many federal bills related to 5G and wireless radiation expansion that's taking away the the powers of our local cities to decide whether or not we want these dangerous devices right underneath our nose. This letter is packed with peer-reviewed science references and solid reasons to oppose please contact your own U.S. senators and representatives to let them know you support the letter. It's really important because they place more value on hearing from their constituents. So really, a lot of this has happened. Yesterday was a big turning point, but I don't think it hurts to keep calling. So it's kind of easy to contact your congressman.
There's actually links in this letter.
Yeah, so if you go to this, you can see the links to your U.S. representatives and also at your state level.
Yeah.
And,
and
we
that's
need
under Take Action, Government Actions, and you go to the bottom, and that's where it is.
And if your state is pushing industry-generated 5G legislation, which Florida is, and I did place a call to the state representative covering that area and let him know that we were not interested in seeing 5G continued without more review of the health effects. And so I think that we all need to be looking at this. This is going to change our world drastically, and we will continue to see the chronic disease escalation that we've seen like never before based on this technology. We'll be right back after
around,
this
folks.
break.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
So we're talking about 5G. Okay, yeah, we're talking about 5G and the streamlined, shove it down your throat rollout that the federal government and FCC is doing for our local communities. As you can see, here's a picture of many people here. This was on a news station. They're kind of showing a lot of families and so forth that are protesting the cell tower rollout. And these people have signs on, and they're not wanting these these new micro cell towers, which will, if they're rolled out in your city, are going to look like these. You're going to have big box. Oh, that's the small one.
Yeah.
They'll be in front of your house. See how that looks? You'll have one every 500,000 feet, and up at the top will be the cell phone, and then down at the bottom, often a refrigerator-sized box. People aren't excited about this, and consequently, in many cities, there's a lot of information about the fact that property values are projected to decrease as a result of the 5G rollout. In other words, the race to 5G might find you being not so wise a hare instead of a wise tortoise.
So it seems like there's a lot of communities upset about this for sure. I mean, Palo Alto, which is a big area of the internet, this is where the internet kind of was born. Community in Berkeley, it says here.
Well, what does that tell you?
New York Times,
These people that actually work in it, they don't want it around them.
Yeah,
they
and
know.
That's what brought my attention to it. So,
yeah, there's a good reason for this, as the research on health effects shows, but I think for those people that still want to be health deniers or health risk deniers on this, or refuse to, I did post a link on a site where I thought there were concerned citizens that actually like to bring the attention, but I guess maybe they just didn't feel like doing the research on the over 150 cited peer review articles I posted.
Yeah, there was one guy here is a NASA scientist, sells his home after 25 years in Piedmont, California, which is a kind of wealthy area of San Francisco, because City Council approved the DAS cell tower near his home.
Does that give you a little clue, guys? People that are in the know that this stuff is dangerous. And 94% of people surveyed would not buy or rent a home next to a cell tower. When they put these mini cell towers, which they're shoving down our throat,
and you said
they're going to be every 500 to 1,000 feet. So it's going to be in front of your house and your neighbor's house, and behind you and your other neighbor's house, in front of your office and the restaurant that you eat at. It's not a pretty thing.
Yeah, as a number 10 here is a New Zealand study showing that property values decreased after cell phone towers installation. Lots of little articles in here, so this is a really, really good site to go to.
Hey, there's this, guys. A realtor talks about the difficulty as more and more people are becoming informed. They seek out their real estate ventures, and they Google the antenna locator, and they find out how many cell towers. Is really rather remarkable. And
well, that's a good way to do it. I remember when I first came to this area 20-some years ago that what I looked at was a flood map, and I picked the highest point, and I said, let's look for a house in that area. This is kind of the same thing. Now we're looking to get away from cell towers and things like that. So as long as the information is out there, this is a good thing for us, because at least we can see where they are. And if you're buying a property next to a tower, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, listen to this. Nolo Press has an article, Nolo.com has an article that notes successful litigation against cell phone tower installations related to declining property values. So if people don't want to pay attention to the impending onslaught of serious degenerative chronic disease that is going to be a result of the 5G implementation based on numerous peer-reviewed research, perhaps you'll want to care about whether or not your property, if it hits your pocket. If it doesn't hit your brain, maybe you'll worry about whether or not it hits your pocket. Okay, so if you're worried about it hitting your pocket, you might want to take a look at this research that shows that there can be some successful litigation. And there are various summaries of articles that from around the country related to the declining value of property that are around cell towers. This is a significant increase, and there's a study using the mapping software GIS to show property values that were higher on average away from cell phone towers. Folks, stop 5G. 5G is not for you and me.
So you'll keep
5G kills you and me.
Yeah, so you're going to keep us posted what happens on that meeting tonight.
Yeah, I'm going tonight. If you're in this area, show up. Guys, show up and have a voice.
Thanks for sticking around, folks. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. results. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.